Hello, welcome to Teacher Inspiration Station. I'm super excited for today's video because it is in collaboration with Teachers Connect. And if you are unfamiliar with what Teachers Connect is, it's basically an online community for teachers. And what I like about it is, sometimes on those Facebook groups, I belong to a couple of Facebook teacher groups, I just feel like it's so open. I just sometimes people post things on there that are so specific and it's posted by their name. This is what happened to me today. The student did this, then the parent did this. And I just feel like what if the parent comes across that? I just feel like you're opening the door up for some drama. But what I like about Teachers Connect, it's like our little community. You sign up for it. It takes a few minutes, but once you're in, you're in. And if you have something that you want to share that's sensitive and you don't want people to know it's from you, you can post anonymously. So if you don't have a popular opinion about something or you're just embarrassed about something, post anonymously and get those answers that you are looking for. So join the family. Teachers Collect, link is down below. And I'm also super excited to be doing this with some awesome teacher YouTubers who have inspired me to create my channel. There's Too Cool for Middle School, Smartie Style, Real Rap with Reynolds, and there's a few others, and they're all linked down below. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of this. And yeah, let's get started. Question number 1. What strategies do you use to reach and or motivate your students? What works best? So the simple answer is praise, encouragement, and high expectations. We as people, we like it when our efforts are being acknowledged and recognized. And I don't feel like that's any different for students. It doesn't have to be public. It could be one-on-one. But I feel like this praise needs to be specific. You can't just say, oh, good job, good job, good job, yay, wonder, for everything that they do. Because they're always going to just do the minimum. And if it's going to be good enough, fine. They're not going to grow because you accept the minimum, right? So it has to be specific. It has to be authentic. High expectations. Don't be afraid to say to a student, you know what? This is not your greatest work, or I think you can do better than this, or you need to redo that. This is not your best. Don't be afraid to do that. Simple example. So in writing right now, we're working on starting with uppercase and the rest are lower, right? Because students in their writing, they mix uppercase and lowercase together within a word. It's just, so I'm trying to get them away from that. But one of the beautiful things is seeing the little erase marks and them correcting it themselves, because they know I'm going to say, go back and fix that. I feel like when they feel like you care, they'll care, or they'll be more likely to be encouraged to do something or motivated to do something because I'm just thinking about my experience in school, and if I didn't feel like the teacher really cared what I did, I just didn't rise to the occasion. I just didn't. And I remember back in school, we talked about intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation, being motivated to do something for yourself, whereas extrinsic is you're trying to avoid a consequence or you want some sort of a reward. I don't think either is bad, but I do feel like extrinsic motivation can turn into intrinsic. I remember back in the day when I was in grade 2, grade 3, and I would have spelling tests, and I used to do so poorly on the tests. There were 3 spelling groups. There was the blue group, the green group, and the yellow group. Blue group were the easiest words, and yellow were the most challenging ones. And I was in the blue group, and I did my spelling homework, but I didn't actually study for the tests. But I remember in grade 4, my teacher used to do these charts. If you got perfect on your spelling test, you got to put a smiley face beside your name. I'm looking back now, and I don't think I would do that. But that's what she did, and that motivated me. I want my stickers. And she also used to make us pick from this little bag that she had of little trinkets and things from the dollar store. And so I wanted the trinkets from the dollar store. So I would study. And I had a system where the word would be locked in my brain. It was there. Sometimes kids do a spelling test and they know the words for the test and then it's gone. No, these words were in my brain. And you had to do the 5 bonus words, which were extra challenging. And I got perfect on my spelling test every week. So one day it dawned on me. I said, you know what? I can learn how to spell any word in the world. I was convinced I knew I could do it because I did so well on my tests. And the motivation was to get the prize. But then when I realized, hey, I can do it. So I asked myself, I said, what is the hardest word I can learn? And in my 9-year-old brain, the hardest word was, well, words in this case, was Arnold Schwarzenegger. So to this day, I know how to spell Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I know how to spell encyclopedia because I taught myself how to spell that when I was in grade 4. So anyways, that's just an example of extrinsic turning to intrinsic motivation. But anyway, the short answer to that is I think praise, encouragement, and having high expectations helps motivate our students. Question number 2. How do you reach and or motivate difficult to reach or misbehaving student? Any examples? Okay, so time and time again, we're told building relationships with students is very important. It's important to build a rapport with your students. And we hear it a lot because it's true. Like, you know those students in your class where you have to talk to them a million times a day when they're not doing one thing, they're doing something else, so you gotta tell them to stop doing that, they're onto something else, or you have to talk to your parents, or you're gonna have to do this thing sheet, I'm sending you down to the office, like a lot of times in the day, like the interactions could be negative. But also remember to have positive interactions with those students as well. If they have an interest in something, for example, let's say they're really into Pokemon, just, did you get any cool Pokemon cards lately? And then they'll start, if it's something they're really interested in. And always remember that every day is a new day. So never make a child feel like you're not happy to see them. So in the morning, greet your students with a smile. That is so important. It's so small, but it's so important. And be genuine with it. Don't be fake. Like, oh, hello. They're your students. It's a new day. Happy to see them. What's going on? How are you? I just feel like that is just so important. You might think it doesn't mean much, but it does. Because even like with me, like, whenever I see someone, I notice when they're smiling. I notice when they seem happy to see me. I notice when they just seem upset or, hey, how's it going? Like, I notice it right away, and I'm conscious of it. So whenever I see my students, even in the morning, I pick them up, I see the parents, good morning to the students, I say good morning to the parents, and I have a smile on my face. Because I also feel like, too, kids, if they like you, they'll more likely do better in your class if they like you. You know what I mean? Not to say they'll be angels and you never have to talk to them because they like you. I'm not saying that, but I feel like a child, if they don't like you, they're really gonna make your life miserable. It's gonna be a hard, long year. So just try and build those relationships. Question number 3. How important is it to know each student's backstory? If important, how do you get to know them? So this goes back with building a relationship with your students. We're so busy in the day. We're pulled in all these directions. There's just not a lot of time in the day. You have to do all these assessments and these scores need to be in by this date. And like, we're busy. It's important to take a few minutes to just talk with your students. Sometimes like one-on-one when you're working with someone, like I know you don't have a lot of time, but just like, hey, how's it going? Just before you start like the assessment or anything, how's it going? You okay? And just talk with them for a minute. Even at recess time too, like a lot of times kids are hanging around you, and just have a conversation with them. And I also feel like having a relationship with the parents, like in September, that newsletter that I sent home, I say, if there's anything that's happening that would affect your child's learning, let me know about it and I'll communicate to you what's going on in the classroom. Let's work together. I just open the door to parents to like, tell me if there's anything happening. Like some parents are so open, and I find it so helpful because I feel like you kind of give the child a break sometimes. They should follow the rules and they should be respectful and all that. But when you know their backstory, you know what's happening, you're a bit more sensitive. You can deal with a situation differently versus if you didn't know something. So I would say talk to the student, but sometimes students are not open, and that comes with the whole building relationship. Like if they don't trust you or you guys just don't have a good relationship, they're not really going to open up to you. Question number 4. Can relationships with parents help or hurt? If so, how? Any examples? Yes, relationships with parents are so important. They can help and they can definitely hurt. Whenever it's parent and child and then they're together and then like the teacher's out, that's when you can run into some issues with that child or with that parent or with that family. if you say to a child, okay, you know what, I'm gonna have to talk to your parents about this because this is just not working. If they're not saying to themselves, okay, I gotta smarten up, or I gotta do what I gotta do, they're gonna talk to my mom, they need to have that, not fear, but they need to know that something is gonna happen when you talk to their parents. Whereas sometimes you talk to kids like, you know what, I'm gonna have to talk to your parents, and they don't care, like, because they know nothing is gonna happen. You know, mom is not gonna get mad at me, they're probably gonna get mad at you. I just feel like once the relationship between teacher and parent is a good solid one, things are more likely to fall into place. Question number 5. Have you ever planned to see students outside of school activities? How did it go? Examples. Yes, my students, I have a few students who are in choir, and sometimes the music department puts on a concert, and if I'm able to go, I'll go to support my students and watch them sing and perform. I've gone to spelling bees. I haven't been invited to anything actually, like dance recitals or like performances that kids do outside. I haven't been invited, but I would go if I was, and I was able to go, I would definitely go. Only thing I'm kind of hesitant about would be birthday parties, and only because everyone has a birthday, number one, and number two, I feel like when you go to one birthday party, then, oh, my friend must go to my birthday party, and then I feel like I'm obligated to go to the next one, and I may not be able to go, and they might be upset. I just feel like that could be potential problem for me. I've never been invited to one to decline. Oh, I can't go, I'm sorry. It hasn't even happened for me, so yeah, but that's the only thing I probably don't think I would go to, but definitely any other activities that they have outside of school, definitely, yeah, I'd go if I was invited. Question number 6. Can you develop a platonic relationship with a student that is too close? That is a very good question. Can you develop a platonic relationship with a student that is too close? The short answer for that is yes. Because I think you can. I was kind of going back and forth with it. The reason why I say yes is I just feel like as teachers, we need to be aware of optics and the way things look, because we don't want anyone to have anything to say. So, I mean, I teach grade 1, so they're 6-year-olds, but I'm thinking like older students. Like, I wouldn't give a student my personal phone number or my personal email. Because let's just say, for argument's sake, a student, like, they're texting you at 9 o'clock at night, they have a question about the assignment that they're working on, and you answer them, you kind of go back and forth about it, and they're like, okay, have a good night, bye, smiley face. And I just feel like you don't want to open the door for anyone to have anything to say, even though it's a student-teacher relationship and it's like there's nothing else there. But just use your discretion and your judgment. We are told never be alone in a room with a student. If you need to be alone, make sure the door is wide open and you're right at the door with the student. Because again, even like the most innocent teachers or the most respected teachers are accused of something, and you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. Yes, I feel like there's a line. There's a teacher and a student, and yes, sometimes I do feel like you can have a platonic relationship where it's nothing more than student-teacher, but you're kind of playing with fire a bit, I guess. So just be careful. It's case by case too, right? Like, there might be a situation where you have to give your personal email or your personal phone number to a student for a specific reason. Like, sometimes there are situations like where this has to happen, but just always ask yourself that question, like, am I putting myself in a situation where I can be accused of something? Just be aware of that. But that is it. Those are the questions. So once again, the website is Teachers Connect. Link below. It takes a few minutes to sign up, and then you're in the team, you're in the community. And I have listed down below all the awesome teacher YouTubers who have participated in this as well. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.